Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR, HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Hello and welcome to the Schapera Show, where Viv and Neil explore this big adventure called life. Our guest today is a woman after my own heart because she has something completely new and original to share with us. Let's say hello to Heather Strom, who is, wait for it, a galactic canine channel. Of course, none of us can possibly know what this means, but fortunately, this is the opportunity to hear all about it. Hello, Heather Leigh. Thank you for coming on the show.
Hello, Vivian. Thank you for having me.
So, Heather Leigh, let's get right to it. What's a galactic canine channel?
That's a great question because I had the same question myself. Galactic Canine Channel was the title that the Canine Spirit Guides gave me because I am connecting them to humanity, and they are the galactic version of our dogs.
So what do you do?
They are here to help humanity heal. So they will communicate with me what a person needs as far as what they need for healing or what they need to understand, what their dogs are trying to communicate with them, and how they're attempting to lead them through their own spiritual journey. And then they offer incredible healing frequencies to help elevate humanity to the whole new level.
Is this why you've put as your subtitle, The Healing Power of Man's Best Friend? Is the subtitle to your book?
Yes, my book, Canine Spirit Guides, was the groundbreaking way that I introduced them to the world, and this is their story on how they were assisting me throughout my entire life, and I had no idea at the time until I wrote it a couple of years ago, and they showed it all to me. But yes, that is the point of the canine here on the planet, is to assist humanity in our spiritual growth.
This is such a wow, and it sounds so unbelievably fascinating. And so when you talk about being a galactic canine channel, do people look at you as though you have two heads?
Yes. They usually take a second look, that's for sure, and that's really ironic that you say that because my call to arms, the signal to my spiritual awakening was actually a conjoined squirrel. So I literally got two heads as the sign that I was about to emerge from my cocoon.
A conjoined squirrel? A squirrel with two heads?
Yes, it's a Siamese twin. This squirrel was actually joined at the spine, and I found it in my yard during COVID lockdown. And when I found it, my dog and I both stumbled upon it. I felt this wave of energy wash over me, and from that moment on, everything changed for me.
How did things change, Heather?
Well, I began to feel this inward push to build a team. Something big was coming. I could just feel it. I had no idea what it was. I could just feel the enormity and the power of it. So I started to build a team of a shaman and a numerologist, an astrologer, a hypnotherapist, and I didn't know why. I just was following my instinct. And this shaman did a reading on me and told me that I was supposed to write a book. And it ended up being this book, Canine Spirit Guides. And as we worked together, I discovered that in order for me to receive the higher information from the dogs that I was putting in the book, connecting, for my ability to connect with them energetically and get their higher purpose, I needed to learn to meditate so I could channel through these messages. So my entire life changed. I was a physical healer for 30 years, and all of a sudden I was being thrust into this world of energetic happenings, energetic downloads, energetic healing. As I did the meditation with the canine spirit guides, they literally healed me from lifetimes and childhood and ancestral patterning that had been plaguing me my entire life. So they showed me the healing that they were capable of.
So you got to experience the healing directly in that manner.
Yeah, and at first I didn't understand that was the actual point of the book. I thought maybe the whole point of me writing the book was sharing these beautiful stories about my dogs. And it was after the book was published that they kind of went, knock, knock, it's time for you to go to work now. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I didn't realize I was shift careers and move from the physical to the spiritual, and start working with clients spiritually now. So that was a big shock.
I can only laugh in commiseration, because you think you're going to do one thing. Like, I thought I was going to write a book about my life, and when I looked at the book, the spirits had put themselves into every single chapter, and I thought, wait, that wasn't the book I thought I was writing. It turned out to be a completely different book. But I'm just wondering, you mentioned meditations and so on. Were there any dreams involved?
Oh, lots of dreams. I put many of them in the book. I would have times when I was downloading light languages and codes and symbols and all kinds of things were just coming in. I could see them just coming through my energetic field. The very first dream I had, though, was when I realized I was meeting with my galactic council, my spirit guide council, which is kind of like a dream, but not really a dream. If those of you listening know what that means, but it's real instead of being a dream. And they were talking about the title of the book, and so they kept throwing out these 3 words, and I was still asleep, and I just reached over next to my bed and grabbed my journal, and I just wrote down these 3 words repeatedly. And when I woke up, I saw the 3 words, but I had no memory of the dream. And the 3 words were canine spirit guides. So that's how I knew what I was going to write about, and that's how I had the title of the book. So the dreams were really pivotal in helping me sort through being able to travel in that dimension without the cumbersome cognitive brain getting in the way. It was really pivotal in the understanding what this was all about.
I like that, the cumbersome cognitive plane. I know, we're trying to make sense of this stuff. And I know those dreams, they really like journeys, like shamanic journeys or something else.
Yes.
And one remembers them. And, well, you didn't remember it, but do you remember it now once you saw the title? Yeah.
Yes, so I went into meditation after that. Yeah, I went into meditation to say, hey, what's this about? And that's when everything came together.
Wow.
I began to remember it then, yeah.
This is fantastic stuff. And let's backtrack a little and find out more about you, Heather Leigh. Perhaps that way we'll get some insight into how you got selected to be the channel for the canine guides. Can you give us any insights about that?
Well, I've always been involved with dogs. I've had a dog since I was 4 years old, and actually my mother says I started training dogs when I was 4. And in my teens, I began to train and compete in AKC obedience. And so I've always had a stream of dogs coming through my life. And in my 30s, I became a professional dog trainer, international competitor, and a dog breeder even. So I've had hundreds of dogs come through my hands, and I've had 30 of my own personal dogs. So I always thought that the dogs were a hobby, and I felt guilty that I was spending so much time and so much money on my dogs. And so I tried to temper it back and be more realistic with my career. Little did I know that they were the main event of my life.
I think it's very funny because as you're speaking, I've got this vision in my head, And there's this vision of you thinking that you're training dogs when actually you were being trained by dogs.
Yes, yes. All of those experiences I had with them were all to prepare me for now. Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing. And then the canine spirit guides, that's like a higher version of the dogs, isn't it?
Yes, yes. They come in from many different dimensions and galaxies, different places, depending on the specific guide that I'm working with. And their energetic frequency is very, very high, and they have the potential to move humanity very quickly. So when I work with them, their healing sessions are very deep, and they also are effective instantly. So there's no process. There's no period. There's no time that you have to sort things out and figure it out and let it settle. It happens instantly when you work with them.
It's hard for me to imagine how that can occur, but can we just go, are these dogs, these canine spirit guides, are they in the shamanic realm or a mythological creature realm? Where do they come from?
Yeah, they're a blend of energy. So they come from the canine realm, which is intergalactic. You know, canines and other dimensions are not the same as they are here. And they also come from the shamanic realm in the sense that they're sharing a blended energy between the canine and the wild animal spirit healing frequency. So each canine spirit guide is a blend between a canine breed, dog breed, and a wild animal. So their image reflects that blending.
So they're not quite power animals, and they're not quite spirit guides. They're somewhere in between, or a blend of both, or a higher version of both.
Yes, they're a higher version of both. They're a different frequency than we've ever experienced before.
It's just amazing, and you won an award for your book, didn't you?
Yes, we just won an award. I can't remember the name of the award, but it was for the Pets and Animals division. So I'm really looking forward to that, and we've entered lots more competitions. So people are starting to embrace the concept of the book.
Well, it's new, so so dogs are very familiar to us. I suppose that's one of the reasons that this new energy is coming via dogs. Can you say something about that?
Oh, yes, I'd love to. So the reason they're coming in through the dogs is because of the way humanity feels about our dogs, the way we love them unconditionally and completely through our heart. No matter what happens, we love them fully. And because of this heart bond and heart connection, it is easier for them to connect with us that way. So all of the animal kingdoms will be coming through eventually, but they've decided to start with the canine kingdom first because of that connection that the canines already have with humanity.
So that means like there's a cat version as well. Is that right?
Yeah. There'll be cats coming through.
Do you think it's going to all be through you, Heather Leigh? It sounds like a huge amount of work.
It does, doesn't it? I'm trying not to get overwhelmed. So what they've shown me and what I've seen is I've seen the higher version of myself on a different timeline. And this is a role that I've always played with the animal kingdom. I've always been their caregiver, their gatekeeper, and I've met this version of myself, and she's incredible. And she has been walking me through this journey, kind of teaching me or reminding me, what I already know and I've just lost connection with. And she's been my mentor throughout this whole process. So that's the reason they connect with me, is because I've always served this role with them.
So wait, let me understand. You have a higher version of yourself that you're in communication with.
Yes, I've seen her. It's the most amazing thing. I've seen her. At first I saw her in dreams. I had a holographic dream. I don't know if you've ever had a hologram in your dream. That was the first for me.
You mean it was three-dimensional when you say holographic?
Well, it's like when you see like in the movies when you see a hologram where it's multicolor and it's kind of shimmery and it's three-dimensional. Yeah, Yeah, that's what it looked like.
So you
when I
saw
saw her.
this higher version of yourself in a holographic dream?
Yes, initially. And then she came to me again, and then I actually asked my mentor, how can I connect with her by choice? Because I have more questions. I want to ask more questions. And he taught me how to meditate and connect with her and go into her realm, her dimension where she is right now, and visit her. And that's what I did. And I saw her with all the animals.
And does this version of yourself have the same name as you or a different name?
I didn't ask her name. That was not one of my questions. I had too many other questions to ask. But she looks a little bit differently than me. As I've been along this journey, I've noticed that I've started to look more like her. My hair's growing out, and she had long, gray, white hair. Just this beautiful, beautiful, calm, serene, feminine, divine feminine woman. And so as I've gone along my journey of transformation, I noticed that I began to look more like her. I'm much more feminine. I'm wearing dresses, long flowy dresses like she did, which I never was attracted to before. So this has been all part of my whole transformation and bringing my frequency up to her frequency where she is.
I'm not even sure what to say. This is so stunning and wonderful. I did once ask, on a shamanic journey, I asked the spirits to show me the answer to a question I wouldn't know to ask. And they showed me what I look like as a spirit guide to other people when I appear as a spirit guide to other people. And they showed me this other person, that's what other people see. And I wouldn't have known to ask the question, and then they gave me this absolutely incredible answer, and it really revealed to me that here we are, we're spirits, we're incarnated in our human bodies, but that doesn't mean we've stopped being spirits, and it doesn't stop our spirits from going around doing the spirit work that they do. And it was such an extraordinary shamanic journey. It was one of the more useful things that I've ever experienced on a shamanic journey. It was such a perspective. So I'm wondering, what is the usefulness, what's the practical outcome that comes for you and your clients out of the canine spirit guides?
Oh, the access that we have to advanced healing technology is incredible, and we don't even realize what we have access to. So that's part of the message that they're wanting to communicate with humanity. That's a huge message in my book, because my book covers not only the dogs in my life, 10 of the dogs in my life, and how they correlated and worked with the canine spirit guides, but it also highlights my spiritual journey that I have been on my entire life that was specifically designed for this very moment, and that's what's important for us to realize. But we also need to realize, just as I alluded to about my higher self, that I saw my higher version, our souls do not have one incarnation at a single time. We are in various places all at the same time. So we can access those other timelines. And I have been able to do this with my clients, working with the canine spirit guides, when there's a concurrent life that needs to be balanced or blended with this life that I'm reading for. So they have the ability to show us all of that and to help us tie it all together so that our souls can grow so much faster. There's so much going on that we don't know. That's what's so incredible. And each time I work with the canine guides, they teach me something different. I'm flabbergasted with their skill and their knowledge and their wisdom and what their techniques, what they have to offer humanity. It's boundless.
I think the thing that's striking me the most as I'm listening to you is that your openness to allow at this point. You've had to hand over control, haven't you?
Yes, absolute control. And that was the first thing my mentor said to me. He said, are you ready to go fast? And I said, absolutely. He said, you're going to have to drop all resistance and completely surrender. And I said, I agree. I agree. And so because I was willing to do that and I was able to do that, I moved extremely fast on my journey. My healing process was fast. Within 6 months, I completely healed lifetimes of trauma. And the book was written within 6 months. It's almost a 400-page book, and when I began, I had no idea what it was going to be about. So that's a very fast way to write a book.
And how do we get hold of the book?
Oh, you can. The book is available everywhere on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I've recorded the audiobook myself on Audible. You can go to my website and get all the links to buy it too. My website's heatherleigstrom.com. It's LeightStrom.com.
So HeatherLeigstrom.com. HeatherLeigstrom.com. Is that correct?
Yes, absolutely.
And this is an award-winning book that is completely original, completely different, completely new, and unbelievably empowering from everything that you're saying. Is that right,
Yes.
Leigh?
Oh, yes, absolutely. The book will move you and work with you as you read it, as long as you allow it to. So it's very important to pay attention when you're reading it and notice what activates you, what agitates you, what makes you mad, what makes you sad. Journal while you're reading the book, and you will discover what they have to share with you.
Fantastic. It's a study, not just a
Yes.
book. It's a study, and you need to journal. This is wonderful. Heather Leigh, I've got a lot more questions for you. And
Okay.
I just need to say we're going to take a break now, and we are interviewing Heather Leigh Strom about the Intergalactic Canine Spirit Guides. And when we come back after the break, we are certainly going to find out more about the higher version of man's best friend.
Imagine taking a journey with metaphysical teachers and spirit guides right in your own home. Well, now you can with Vivian Schapera's book, Everyday Magic. Everyday Magic helps you understand your life from new perspectives as it guides you to feel motivated to take control of your life and your future. Get Everyday Magic today at Amazon.com, or for more information, visit Schapera.com or call 513-891-8062. That's 513-891-8062.
VMware is a fresh perspective for virtualization on the cloud. Shaping the future, this all-in-one platform delivers virtual cloud service on any cloud. Visit our HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on VMware.
CrystalHealingTechniques.com is the place to learn crystal healing, and there's even some free courses and certification. CrystalHealingTechniques.com has courses from beginner to advanced, and you'll learn from a master crystal healer. Explore new and unique material as you learn from the amazing award-winning textbook, The Complete Guide to Crystal Surgery. So discover the world of healing through crystals at CrystalHealingTechniques.com. Visit CrystalHealingTechniques.com or call 513-891-8062.
If you're not in the U.S., listen up. SureTrader is one of the most trusted and reliable names in share trading. With 6-to-1 leverage and other perks, SureTrade is the best for penny stocks and day trades. To find out more, visit our advertiser page and click on the SureTrader banner.
If you like this program and you want to hear more of the Shaperas, then tune in to their YouTube channel called Crystal Surgery and Crystal Healing Techniques. There's demos, meditations, interviews, and more on their YouTube channel, Crystal Surgery and Crystal Healing Techniques. So relax, enjoy, and learn unique material as you watch the Shaperas in action. Visit today on YouTube, and remember that channel, Crystal Surgery and Crystal Healing Techniques. Do it now. There's a respected metaphysical academy that's been around for over 22 years, and it's still going strong. If you're interested in energy healing, crystal healing, developing intuition, or shamanism, then the Four Winds Academy for the Healing Arts and Sciences is exactly right for you. With in-person and online classes and full certifications, their experienced teachers work with you and take an interest in your progress. To find out more, visit fourwindsacademy.org. That's the number 4windsacademy.org. Or call 513-891-8062.
Expanding your mind. HealthyLife.net.
welcome back to the Schapera Show, where Viv and Neil explore this big adventure called life. Our guest today is Heather Strom, who is connected with amazing guides in another realm, the power animal guides of our very own pet dogs. These canine guides are beyond fascinating. Before the break, Heather, we were talking about this, and what I want us to do now is actually talk about the 4 canine guides. If you can tell us something about them, is that possible?
Oh, yes. This book is the first book, Canine Spirit Guides, and it is about the first 4 guides that wish to come through, and they refer to themselves as the core 4. So we have Anthea, who is a blend of, I'm drawing a blank. She is a cheetah and a golden retriever, and what she does is her skills are to connect us with our divine feminine through our divine joy and self-love. And all of the work she does with my clients is in removing any blockages that prevents this, and then bringing this energy in and healing them on this level. The second guide is Oscar, and he has chosen the black and tan coonhound and the lion, and he represents the divine masculine. And these two oftentimes will work together, of course, because humanity needs to blend and heal and blend both the divine feminine and masculine. And he works around containing and expressing and releasing our voice, our courage, and our confidence. And this is necessary for us to balance these in order for our divine masculine to be completely expressible, in order for it to provide the supportive container that's necessary for the divine feminine. He's a very powerful, quiet, eminent guide. He reminds me of Aslan in the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. The third guide is Oregon, and she's a whole nother level than the first 2 guides. She has chosen the Basenji dog breed and the Black Panther as her symbol, and she works with my clients and with me in removing any mask that obstructs our ability to see ourselves fully, and that is also projecting an illusion of ourselves into the world that we're trying to hide behind. So she will identify these masks, and sometimes there's more than one, and she'll remove them. And when they are removed, we can then connect fully, finally, with our true divine soul. And I had never met my soul until I worked with Oregon. And then the fourth one is actually the spirit guide that's with my current dog, my Corgi Gigi. This is Daman Yadaran Eric. He has 3 names. He's a very elegant guide. He has chosen the pug and the bald eagle for his energetic representation, and he is the interdimensional of the 3. He's the one that's going to connect us with our interdimensional wisdom, our interdimensional lives, our ability to move between dimensions, and he is our escort and our guardian as we explore this part of ourselves, and he will help us discover anything that needs to be cleansed and balanced and redirected in this realm as well. So he's primarily the reason I moved so quickly into the quantum realm, and the reason I have so much ability to navigate there, because he's always working with me. My Corgi is always with me when I am working. She's helping to direct me when I work and when I meditate, and she's an incredible spiritual being. So those are the first 4.
That's the first 4. Oh, wow!
There's over 50 in total, so there's a lot more books to come.
Wow! Ooh, the library. All right, but tell us about Gigi. Gigi sounds important to me also. I bet there's a story there.
Yes, Gigi was a surprise. I didn't want any more dogs. I was getting ready to retire, and when my current dog, Nikki, was going to leave me, she was currently 12, I was planning on no more dogs. But then suddenly I started getting a calling, and I describe these callings in my book because a lot of my dogs came through a calling, and it's this urgency that comes down deep inside your soul that you have to find something, you have to connect a dot. And it won't leave me alone. I have sleepless nights until I find what I'm being called to. And Gigi was that calling. And so I had to figure out who she was. I knew she was a dog, but what kind of dog? Was she adult, puppy? Was she a purebred, a mix? Was she at the pound, at the breeder? How old was she? what state was she in, what country was she in, because a lot of my dogs called from other countries, and I had to find them. So she was relatively easy because I discovered she was only 45 minutes away. She was currently ready to go home, and she was with a breeder. I found out she was a corgi, a tricolor. She had to be a black-headed tricolor female. So I had to meet all the criteria. So I spent weeks on the internet trying to scour everything, and I had to really dig deep to find this breeder because she was hidden. She didn't want anybody to know her, and so I had to really dig to find her. And when I met Gigi's
45 minutes from you. Yeah.
Yeah, she was only 45 minutes. And I was told
it's incredible. You had to search the world for what was right down the road.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I had the feeling she was close. Oh, that did?
We've got some parallel things that have happened because when I was in high school, I was looking at the children in school and I was looking at myself and I was thinking, good grief, our posture is terrible, and I had really a big struggle, and I thought there's got to be something somewhere in the world that can help me with this. And there was only one Alexander teacher in the country, and she was right across the road from my high school. And I found her 5 years later, because it was also a hidden situation. So when you say, it was hidden, and yet it was 45 minutes down the road, I can really resonate with that too. Oh, that's really special. So here comes Gigi, and she was. How long did you have to wait to get her? I mean, you can't just take a puppy home.
The breeder wanted me to wait 2 weeks to pick her up. I said, no, I'll be here Friday. I'll be back Friday to pick her up. I'm not waiting 2 weeks. Because she was already 9 weeks old, and I didn't want to lose 2 more weeks. You know, that's important imprinting time with a puppy. So I said no. And, you know, breeders sometimes want to hold on to them too long because they want to, you know, see how they're going to develop before they let them go. But I already knew. I already had my answer. And I knew she was meant to come home with me. So thankfully there was no resistance from the breeder.
Well, you certainly had the qualifications and the experience to take your puppy home. There's no question about that.
Oh, yeah.
And then she'd called you, so there's no bigger indicator, there's no bigger sign than responding to the call.
Right,
which is all your work, yeah.
Yeah.
And this is, for you, this is a big step for you, isn't it? I mean, it's not like in your childhood you had the confidence to do something like this.
No, my voice was really shut down and stifled because of my parenting. So I really had to come out of my shell. I had to heal a whole lot of trauma to just be able to come out and speak in front of people and to be myself fully without fear.
But you had to, because it was your mission and your destiny.
Yeah.
Heather Leigh, just tell us again how we can get hold of your book, and people can get hold of you also in case they want a session with you.
Yeah, I do private sessions, group sessions. I have a podcast too, so check that out. But all of that is on my website, heatherleigstrom.com, HeatherLeigstrom.com. You'll find all the resources you need to read the book, because it's on my website, and work with me.
Wow. Thank you, Heather Leigh. I can't thank you enough. I can't thank you enough for coming on the show, but also for making this connection with the canine guides and giving a new tool, a new gift to humanity, another way for us to raise our consciousness. Thank you very, very much, Heather Leigh Strom.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Vivian.
Thank you. All right, everyone. We're going to take a break now, and when we come back, Neil will be giving his report from the spirit realm. Please join us.
CrystalHealingTechniques.com is the place to learn crystal healing, and there's even some free courses and certification. CrystalHealingTechniques.com has courses from beginner to advanced, and you'll learn from a master crystal healer. Explore new and unique material as you learn from the amazing award-winning textbook, The Complete Guide to Crystal Surgery. So discover the world of healing through crystals at CrystalHealingTechniques.com. Visit CrystalHealingTechniques.com or call 513-891-8062.
Roku is like having your own video library with over 300,000 choices, and it's the best way to get Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, and so much more. There's a Roku player for every budget, so go to HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on the Roku banner.
If you like this program and you want to hear more of the Shaperas, then tune in to their YouTube channel called Crystal Surgery and Crystal Healing Techniques. There's demos, meditations, interviews, and more on their YouTube channel, Crystal Surgery and Crystal Healing Techniques. So relax, enjoy, and learn unique material as you watch the Shaperas in action. Visit today on YouTube, and remember that channel, Crystal Surgery and Crystal Healing Techniques. Do it now.
Discover the world's largest anti-aging organization, Life Extension. For the best information, vitamins, and supplements, you just can't beat Life Extension. To start extending your life, go to the HealthyLife.net advertiser page and click on the Life Extension banner.
There's a respected metaphysical academy that's been around for over 22 years, and it's still going strong. If you're interested in energy healing, crystal healing, developing intuition, or shamanism, then the Four Winds Academy for the Healing Arts and Sciences is exactly right for you. With in-person and online classes and full certifications, their experienced teachers work with you and take an interest in your progress. To find out more, visit fourwindsacademy.org. That's the number 4windsacademy.org. Or call 513-891-8062. Imagine taking a journey with metaphysical teachers and spirit guides right in your own home. Well, now you can with Vivian Schapera's book, Everyday Magic. Everyday Magic helps you understand your life from new perspectives as it guides you to feel motivated to take control of your life and your future. Get Everyday Magic today at Amazon.com, or for more information, visit Schapera.com or call 513-891-8062. That's 513-891-8062.
HealthyLife.net, the positive radio network.
Hi there. Welcome back. You're listening to the Schapera Show, and I'm Neil, very pleased to be sharing with you my shamanic journeys to the spirit realm and reporting back on the guidance I receive directly from the spirits. The purpose of this journey is to travel to the upper world and request the spirits that they give me guidance around the topic of how to cultivate and value compassion. So this journey is to follow up to my last journey, where the spirits told me that one thing that's really important in expanding our consciousness and our self is to cultivate and value compassion. So I'm traveling for this journey to the upper world. I start off on my mountain ledge, going upwards, up and up, gliding alongside my energy beam. And I put out my request that the spirit teachers of the upper world will be there to meet me and help me. I arrive at a very familiar place in the upper world. I see spacious, wide, pink steps, almost as if they're made of rose quartz. And I go up quite a grand staircase. And I recognize this as a familiar entryway to the upper world. Sitting on a step, I see one of my spirit teachers, and he really likes to joke and play games, and he's sitting in a kind of hunched over posture, wearing his customary robe, and he's pretending to be hiding, although he's very obviously there. And there's a message in this, and an important message, that the spirits are hiding in plain sight. I know he's very pleased to see me, and he springs up with a big smile and a big expanding of his arms. He comes and hugs me very tightly, and he says, "Good, this is a really important topic to inquire about." And he leads me by the hand, and he's very eager as he takes me over a little bridge into a familiar clearing in the trees. And I know to look around there to see if any of my other spirit teachers of the upper world are there. It's like a council of elders in a way, although these are not ancestral spirits. The first thing they show me is a fire, like a campfire, with a cooking pot on it, and some sort of stew is being cooked. And immediately as I view this scene, a whole lot of information is being transmitted to me by this image. And that is that all of us as humans on earth need to eat and enjoy eating and enjoy the group dynamic of eating with other people. And that compassion includes understanding and acknowledging that each and every single one of us has the need to eat. It's a crucial, basic human need to eat and to share food in a group. And we should absolutely value the compassion of wanting everybody to have food to eat. It should be just so obvious. One aspect of compassion then is making sure that no one goes hungry. There are many other aspects to how compassion can be put in practice, but this would be a very basic one. And the key understanding is that we're all in the same boat. We each know what it's like. Maybe we've had a small taste of being hungry, and we certainly are aware that many people don't have enough to eat. So this is where we can begin, making sure everybody has enough to eat, and I'm sure there are many avenues for participating in this kind of compassionate activity. Then one of the spirit teachers brings a bowl of food that was cooking on the fire to me so that I can eat. And they say it's such a crucial, basic bond to eat together, to eat with other people. This is fellowship. And when we cultivate compassion, we are cultivating fellowship. They then show me the scene of a tall fruit tree. I'm not really sure what the fruit is. It's probably a symbolic image, and I see a child trying to jump up to get to the fruit, but it can't reach it, it can't do it, and it needs help. So here the spirits are showing me in a fairly obvious way how people need to be assisted. The spirit is saying, yes, compassion involves giving people what they need and also empowering people to access what they need so that they can reach their goals. The Spirit says something that is also obvious. We all know what it's like to suffer. And because we've each had the experience of suffering, we know how painful suffering can be. And it's clear that we should be helping people who are suffering. They say it's perfectly fine to start in one's own community. So there's suffering all over the world for all kinds of reasons, and some of it seems far away, and it might be people that we don't immediately feel an identification with. And the spirits say that that's part of the issue. We should identify with other people's suffering simply because they are people. It doesn't matter where they are, what language they speak, what religion they are. Just the fact that they are people is what we must identify with. And they say helping locally is good, as you can more easily see the local results. And they say it's interesting that the word compassion has passion in the word, and that we should be passionate about it. And I ask, how do we cultivate compassion? They say that when we're eating, we should remind ourselves that we are enjoying great good fortune to eat regularly and sufficiently. We must remind ourselves that that's not something that everybody enjoys. We must cultivate this awareness that we are so fortunate and that many others are not fortunate, to not take our good fortune for granted and to have gratitude. By doing this every time we eat, and in fact, for everything, like when we get dressed, to have gratitude for clothes and the acknowledgement that others don't have enough to wear, and when we are in our warm beds, safe at home, to have gratitude for this blessing, can be for everything. Our health, our jobs, our income, our family, every aspect of our daily existence, to express gratitude and awareness that so many people don't have what we have. And the spirits say that compassion must be put action. It's not just saying, oh, what a pity, other people don't have enough to eat, I feel so sorry for them. That is a first step. That is really important, but true compassion is doing something about it. They refer me back to that image of the person who couldn't reach the fruit, and they show me all my spirit teachers lifting that person up to reach the fruit in the tree. And they say that if we all help our planet and the people on the planet, we would be as close to paradise as it's possible to get. And they say one final really important thing. They say that compassion is necessary for us individually, that when we are compassionate, we personally benefit. Our mental health, the evolution of our consciousness is really enhanced by being compassionate. And if we are not compassionate, there's a significant deficit in our own personal growth and peace of mind. And with that, the drums change, the spirits gather around me, and they say, I must drink another bowl of the stew for my homeward journey. And they're giving me another demonstration of love and hospitality. And with that, I say thank you. I walk away from the clearing, back over the bridge, back down the rose quartz steps, and back to the energy beam that takes me to the middle world. And I thank the spirits. They showed me that compassion is something very, very basic. It's not complicated. Thank you. Thank you. The Schapera Show, and we're going to go on our break now. And when we come back, Vivian will continue with messages from crystals.
If you like this program and you want to hear more of the Chaperas, then tune in to their YouTube channel called Crystal Surgery and Crystal Healing Techniques. There's demos, meditations, interviews, and more on their YouTube channel, Crystal Surgery and Crystal Healing Techniques. So relax, enjoy, and learn unique material as you watch the Chaperas in action. Visit today on YouTube, and remember that channel, Crystal Surgery and Crystal Healing Techniques. Do it now.
You have too little time to shop. So try Farm Fresh to You. They deliver organic food the way nature intended, delivered straight to your home or office, economically. Visit our web advertiser page and click on Farm Fresh to You now.
There's a respected metaphysical academy that's been around for over 22 years, and it's still going strong. If you're interested in energy healing, crystal healing, developing intuition, or shamanism, then the Four Winds Academy for the Healing Arts and Sciences is exactly right for you. With in-person and online classes and full certifications, their experienced teachers work with you and take an interest in your progress. To find out more, visit fourwindsacademy.org. That's the number 4windsacademy.org. Or call 513-891-8062.
Get high-quality glasses, sunglasses, and prescription lenses at eyeglasses.com. Choose from over 250,000 items and 400 brands. Already have frames? Get replacement lenses. It's easy. Go to our advertiser page and click eyeglasses.com.
Imagine taking a journey with metaphysical teachers and spirit guides right in your own home. Well, now you can with Vivian Schapera's book, Everyday Magic. Everyday Magic helps you understand your life from new perspectives as it guides you to feel motivated to take control of your life and your future. Get Everyday Magic today at Amazon.com, or for more information, visit Schapera.com or call 513-891-8062. That's 513-891-8062. CrystalHealingTechniques.com is the place to learn crystal healing, and there's even some free courses and certification. CrystalHealingTechniques.com has courses from beginner to advanced, and you'll learn from a master crystal healer. Explore new and unique material as you learn from the amazing award-winning textbook, The Complete Guide to Crystal Surgery. So discover the world of healing through crystals at CrystalHealingTechniques.com. Visit CrystalHealingTechniques.com or call 513-891-8062.
Where positive people and radio unite. HealthyLife.net.
Hello and welcome back to the Schapera Show, where Viv and Neil explore this big adventure called life. This is the part of the show where I, Vivian, talk to crystals and talk about crystals, and today I'm talking to a long-time favorite of mine, Azurite. Azurite is the most astonishing, intense blue color. Perhaps this is why Azurite is one of my favorite stones, because its color is one of my favorite colors. It's a good thing that Azurite is so attractive, because it is quite the taskmaster. When you first read what Melody has to say about Azurite, you think, oh, that's fantastic. For example, Melody says, Azurite is known as a stone of heaven. It stimulates the pursuit of the heavenly self, providing for guidance via the third eye and allowing for precise verbalization of psychic experiences. She then goes on to say that Azurite provides for insight into all areas of one's life. Sounds fabulous, doesn't it? Well, maybe not so much. Here's the rub. Getting insight into all areas of one's life is darn confronting. Yes, Azurite does do all that and more, but at a cost. The cost of self-awareness. And in case you haven't noticed this yet, self-awareness can be very, very demanding. Plus, self-awareness comes with a big responsibility, the responsibility to do something about it. Okay, so that's the insight part. Then, there's the psychic part. It seems like everyone and her aunt wants to be psychic these days. But maybe, just maybe, psychic isn't really the fun that it is purported to be. Imagine being able to see quite clearly that your friend is about to make a really bad choice. Imagine that you can even see what's going to happen if your friend does make that choice. You have no evidence, you just know. Now what do? Do you tell your friend? How do you tell your friend? What do you say? Suddenly you understand the meaning of the saying, ignorance is bliss. You are now between a rock and a hard place. If you keep quiet and your friend makes a bad choice and many bad dynamics flow from that, will you be able to forgive yourself? If you speak up and your friend gets mad at you and she accuses you of being jealous, wanting to control her and not having her best interests at heart, how will you manage that? Azurite says I must tell you the short answer to the dilemma. The short answer is, use the information you perceive to formulate questions. Let's just say, for example, this is one of the biggest decisions of all, like marrying someone. And in this instance, what you're seeing is that the person your friend wants to marry is a manipulative man. And you can see this is going to lead to a life of misery. Patterns like that don't come out of nowhere. There's always a trail. You can ask your friend, hey, why did this guy's last relationship break up? Did you find out what happened? And you can say something like, nobody is perfect. We all know that. So have you identified this guy's imperfections? What would you say they are? Azurite also says I must share how I choose what to say. And here's the answer to that. I ask my guides and the stone and the person's higher self what questions to ask. That way, I get much, much, much better questions than if I try to go it alone. In other words, I just acknowledge that I don't know, and I get all the help that I can. Azurite says that I must make it clear that I'm not complaining. I'm just saying. I've always had a special relationship with Azurite. I once bought an Azurite nodule from Mr. Beckman. Who is Mr. Beckman? Mr. Beckman was an old guy who lived in over the Rhine in Cincinnati and had a huge mineral collection that he was selling off. My friend Barbara and I would go down to Mr. Beckman periodically to buy crystals, and we gradually transported his crystal collection from his house to ours. After I bought the nodule's like a geode that's been cut in half, except it's all azurite. A client told me she wanted a very blue stone. I tried to dissuade her, but of course she was after my azurite nodule. I gave in and let her buy it from me. Quite a number of years later, I was thinking, I wish I could have my Azurite nodule back. Within a few days, the client contacted me out of the blue. I hadn't seen her in many years, so I was a little surprised. Anyway, during her session, she said, I don't like the Azurite that I bought from you long ago. My son took it, dropped it, and it got a nick in it, and I haven't liked it since then. Can I exchange it for something else? Of course, I said, feeling all jubilant inside, and in that way, my Azurite nodule came back to me with its nick and all, a nick that I can hardly see. I look at it and admire it very often, and I thank the imperfection that caused it to be returned to me. In crystal surgery, I use different stones on the third eye, depending on the client's need. For example, if the client seems bombarded from the outside, I place amber on the third eye to act as a filter. If the client needs to quiet her mind from the inside, I use purple fluorite. And when the client is ready to become self-insightful and take action, I use Azurite. For this purpose, I have a magnificent Azurite sun from Australia that totally covers the third eye area and transports one into a different zone of consciousness. When I ask Azurite what final message it wants to share with you today, it says, don't be afraid of the truth. Be more afraid of lies and other falsehoods. Only the truth can take you on a productive path into the future, whereas lies and falsehoods take you into a sad maze with no exit. Truth has an objective quality, whereas lies and falsehoods are sustained by subjective beliefs. Lies require abstract psychological manipulation, but truth can provide concrete, supportive evidence. I can help you to perceive the truth. That is my power. Wow, Azurite, that's a succinct answer and very, very useful too. So all of you truth seekers out there, if you don't already have a piece of Azurite, perhaps now is the time to acquire one. Thank you, Azurite, for sharing your wisdom with us. I treasure you even more now. And thank you, everyone, for joining us here on the Schapera Show. Please join us again next month to explore this big adventure called life.